Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading of today, a Wednesday here at MadWorldTarot. I'm keeping the villains, the Disney villains tarot deck on the tarot table, novelty tarot deck. It does read well, and we are looking at somewhat villainous stories today, and the reason being Harry and Meghan are at the very top of the list of most unpopular celebrities. The list maintained by Ranked. It's an annual thing, and they are way out in front of all the other celebrities. Meghan leads the list of most unpopular celebrities with a current vote count of about 35,000. Harry is second with about 23,000 votes. This is at the time of doing this reading. It could all change. And the next one, the third, is Diddy. And Diddy only has 11,000 votes. So he's third. Harry and Meghan, according to the votes on this list, are more unpopular than Diddy. And significantly more unpopular because Meghan, 35,000. Harry, about 11,000 down. 23,000. Diddy, another 11,000 down at 11,000. How crazy is that? So I'm going to do a Celtic cross. It's a somewhat repurposed Celtic cross, as I do sometimes in these readings, asking some very specific questions along the way in the Celtic cross. And we're going to ask how they feel about this and what are they going to do? What are they being advised to do about this? Because this is bad. I mean, this is devastatingly bad. This is United States. This is not the toxic British media and crazy people on YouTube like me. This is Americans voting and expressing their disdain for this pair. And are they going to turn this around? Is it possible? How they each feel about it individually and what is going to happen? Harry's still nowhere to be seen as far as I can tell. Meghan has disappeared after her "I'm the most bullied person in the world" moment, although she is sending out all kinds of ridiculous puff pieces in the press. And we can say allegedly, and while we're saying allegedly, okay, we've got energy in these cards. Let's remind you, it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It is, I need to shuffle those in apparently. It is all my opinion, it's all speculation, and of course I just read energy, and disclaimer in the box below. Let's see what the cards have to tell us. Celtic cross coming up, and as I say, a little bit tweaked just so we can ask some very specific questions about them individually and what advice they might have been given. They do still have PR people around. That Ashley woman has gone off. I think she's still got them as clients for the next 3 months. That Beth woman is still around as well, Beth Hurley. We've got the Star. So it's the card of hope and optimism and faith in your future and in your healing and in your celebrity status. If you are a celebrity, the Star is your card. It's become a celebrity card, unfortunately for it, in these royal readings that have to do with Harry and Meghan anyway, because they of course have opted out of being royals and have chosen instead to be celebrities. And what happens if you're a celebrity? You get ranked. And so there it is, the Star. It's upright, which tells me that they feel they can shift this, whether together or separately. We will try and find out. Harry certainly is out and about trying to improve his image by leaving herself at home with the alleged children, the Invisi kids, as they are called. Situation, we're reading on both of them, Five of Swords. Conflict, don't like this. They are surrounded by conflict. That's all we hear about them basically, is the conflict between them, with their families, with people around, people they work for, people who work for them. When I say people they work for, I use that term loosely. Netflix, Spotify, Lemonada, all that stuff. Better up. Conflict. Their own conflict with each other. It just goes on and on. It's wearing, it's exhausting. And that is the energy that they exude when people think about them. I would say that's how I'm reading this card anyway. They think of conflict, fighting, never-ending fighting. So what's the particular problem, the challenge for Harry and Meghan is the Chariot, is how to drive forward from this. They're very ambitious still, both of them, and needing basically to get out of this tight spot that they are in and move forward from it in that Chariot. They've both got, as I say, goals that they want to achieve. They haven't given up just yet. I know that because the star is sitting underneath these cards and shining away. They want that status. They want all the things that they wanted that brought them together in the first place. I don't think personally it was true love that brought them together. I think it was their ambition that brought them together, and there it is. So let us see what's at the root of their current very negative ranking as far as celebrity status goes. And I've got the Hanged Man, and it's in reverse. It's Neptunian energy, as you can see from that serpent Jungle Book. This sort of hypnotic gaze that stops you from seeing things correctly. The Hanged Man is the card of being a victim and being a bit deluded as well. And I think that people are just tired of hearing the victim narrative from them both. Sick of it. Don't want to hear it anymore. Don't want to hear about Harry and the sausages in the room that was too small and the dog bowl and the necklace and all the rest of it. So sick of it. Don't want to hear about how Meghan was the most bullied person in the world and the royals were so awful to her and blah, blah, blah. They're sick to death of it and just want it to be over. So that victim narrative is at the root of this situation, is the root of why they are so unpopular. There's something else in that card, because the card is in the reverse, tells me that people see Harry and Meghan now very differently to the way they saw them initially. Initially, particularly Americans might have thought, wow, they've broken free from that claustrophobic institution, the fuddy-duddy institution with all its silly rules, and it's irrelevant, and, you know, hooray for them. Not so much now. Not so much. So, Harry and Meghan, back to them, because other energy popped in here. People's energy, voting people's energy popped in there. What are their minds on right now? And I've got the Nine of Wands, and it's weird because these cards are repeating, and I really did shuffle. These cards are coming back at me. They were in the previous reading as well. I shuffled and shuffled. Nine of Wands, it's in reverse. How many more blows can they sustain before it's over for them together, or perhaps individually? Can they survive another round of negative press, negative stories coming out about them? And there are some allegedly waiting in the wings. I read on some of those yesterday. There were a whole lot more. There's all those redactions in the visa application. That story hasn't gone away. There are court cases in the UK that could turn really nasty for Harry. Many more stories. Fluffy's come to join us to do the reading with us as I say that. So they've got big trouble, potentially, and they're aware of it, and they're aware that they're vulnerable. They're aware that they are weakened. And when they're like that, when they're down and almost out like that, it's easier for people who've maybe been holding back up until now, worried about the savagery of the squaddies, worried about the lawyers, worried about how litigious Harry and Meghan have been up until now. Those people, it's a bit like blood in the water and the sharks circling. Those people might think, they're weakened now, and now's the opportune moment to strike. So that's interesting, and Harry and Meghan know it, because she at least is incredibly strategic, and I think he has learnt some of the tricks from her as well. Dim as he is, you don't have to be the smartest thing ever to be strategic and quite cunning. I think Lady C is the one who always says that Harry is very cunning. If I'm misquoting, apologies to all concerned. Let's look at the recent past, what's been going on, why they're so unpopular, what's been happening. And we've got justice, balancing of the scales, and also legal proceedings. And it could be that people are, first of all, just really sick of all the litigation that's been going on. But it might also be that people are wanting some sort of comeuppance, and the bullying would be at the head of that list, I would say. But there are other things that, for instance, the visa application, why was Harry given special privileges in that case? And he seems to have a visa that he doesn't really qualify for, that diplomat's visa, that A1 visa, whatever it is, and so on. People looking at this situation and thinking, it's time you got some justice, or we got some justice in this situation. Interestingly, I think there's been too much litigation, though. I think that's really what that card is telling me, that we're too eager to run to the courts, too eager to get lawyers involved, and too eager to get their own back on everybody else, going and telling tales on Oprah, telling tales in Spare. Nobody likes it. And the tale telling is sitting here with the Hanged Man card in reverse. So what's coming next? What are they going to do to try and turn this around, or is it not possible? I've got the Two of Cups in reverse. I saw this card when I was shuffling, and I was told to shuffle it back in. It's come out. This is Splitsville. They're going to separate. They already have separated their brand. We know that. We've been told that they've divorced their brand, and they're each going their separate ways. It could be more than just their brand that gets divorced coming up. We might hear news about Harry and Meghan have separated, the one stone around the other one's neck, and that would be Harry with a stone around his neck, that he might decide he's just going to cut loose if he's going to save himself. Each man for himself in that Two of Cups in reverse. They are not going to face this decline in their fortunes together. Not from what I can see with that Two of Cups in reverse. So let's look at them individually and see how they feel about this, because I'm sure that they're aware of it. If they go to the places where we all go to find our news, and I do think they do, what are their individual feelings about it? Harry first, and this is where I have repurposed this Celtic cross. What does Harry feel about it? He realizes that he's messed up. Seven of Cups, it's in reverse. Upright, it's deluded. It's thinking that you have the world in your hands. Everything is possible. You can do whatever you like. There are no consequences for anything you can do. It's pie in the sky. It's very deluded energy. It's quite Neptunian. Both of these cards are in the reverse now, that he realizes that he's running out of options. He is seeing the reality of the situation. Finally, there are some stories that he might be drawing out somewhere, and that might help him to see things more clearly, because when you're in Seven of Cups energy and it's upright, you're not seeing things clearly at all, whether because you're sort of hypnotized into seeing things a certain way, or because you are medicated and see things a certain way. Whatever the cause, he is beginning to see the reality, and he does not like it. It's always an unpleasant experience when the Seven of Cups it goes into reversal in your life, and it's suddenly, oh no. And so how is she doing, the wife? What's going on with her? Four of Cups, feeling very rejected, feeling... It's interesting because these are both very difficult cards. Difficult not in the sense of a Three of Swords difficult or a Ten of Swords difficult. The difficult energy to manage because they're quite vague. The Four of Cups is a vague card. It's a card of apathy and indifference. She's feeling that whatever she does, people don't respond in a positive way. The cup is offered in the Four of Cups and it's rejected. People swat it away. No, if that doesn't interest me. Oh, you've done a cooking show. Let's look at the teaser for it. The pilot. No, I don't really like it. It just doesn't excite me. And she could be experiencing that from people. She could be experiencing it from Harry as well. Indifference. Oh, she's crying and she's brokenhearted and everyone's being so mean to her. Well, what can you do? And off he goes surfing or playing polo or whatever he's doing. But she herself could be in that energy of she can't really find it in herself to get excited about anything. And yeah, it's difficult energy to claw one's way out of because it's depression. This is stopping being deluded. This is wrestling with apathy. That can be also depression. So she might be on quite a downer right now. Advice. I've repurposed this card as well. Advice that's been given to them from their PR people. They do still have some, allegedly. I'm not so sure about WME, but Ashley's still around. And so is Beth Hurley and whoever else. What are they being told to do? Hierophant, get back on sides with the royals. Do the right thing. Learn your lessons, the Hierophant. Play by the rules, the Hierophant. But really, get back in with the royal family. And who's going to do his best? They're both trying. We've seen the Christmas messaging by Harry and Meghan. Where they're going to spend Christmas. Is it going to be with the Spencers or the royals? And the royals were like, nah, we've sent out the invitations. Thank you very much. No mention of Harry and Meghan. I think, isn't it funny? It says the world's greatest boss from someone who's turns out to be possibly one of the world's worst bosses. That's quite funny. But Harry trying his best to sneak back in to the protective embrace of the royal family with that card and give up the Hollywood stuff, which is showing up here with the star. Good luck, Harry. And separating in order to do that, because there's no way back in for her. However much she sends messages out to her sad little tabloids that are the only ones that will still take her money to print the guff that she writes. Only Harry. Only Harry. And he's being told that very firmly. This is what you have to do. Save yourself. Let her go. Save yourself. What's going to happen? And we've got the Four of Wands in reverse, and that's another breakup card. Two meanings in this. First of all, the marriage breakup, the broken home, separating very much. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. Four of Wands is a marriage card, a wedding card when it's upright. Happy home card is in reverse. Broken home, separating. We've heard about the removal van that was spotted outside Mudslide Mansion, taking, one speculates, Harry's worldly goods away, whatever his goods were, the gaming console, the Rizzlers, I don't know what, but the dog bowl, perhaps. There is something else in that Four of Wands, of course, the royal family. It's the firm. He's being advised, sneak back in. Doors are slamming shut there, or have slammed shut with the Four of Wands in reverse. Firm doesn't want him. He's unstable, he's erratic, he's destructive. He has done tremendous damage to the royal family. Why should they welcome him back? So we've got two bits of bad news potentially in here for Harry, and it's more Harry's energy that's coming through here. We've got what looks to me like a separation and everything but public announcement. So I'm sure that private separation is ongoing, but also no way home. They might let him back in to Britain, stick him in the gamekeeper's cottage, as I often say. But I think if Harry realizes, and he does seem to be realizing, the situation that he's in with the Seven of Cups in reverse. Now the truth the reality of his situation dawning at last, I don't think he's going to want to go back to the UK. That's the story for another reading, where Harry will end up and how it will go for him. We'll get there, I'm sure. But for now, doesn't look very good for the number 1 and number 2 most unpopular celebrities, according to Ranked.